Hi, my name is Trevor Dunn, and these are the films I watched from November 22nd to December 2nd. On November 27th, I watched Rango, directed by Gore Verbinski. Johnny Depp plays a pet gecko that doesn't know his place in the world. After a car crash, he finds the town of Dirt. The town is struggling from a lack of water. Using his acting skills, he convinces the town he's this badass gunslinger named Rango. His acting skills help him be a semi-decent sheriff, but how long can he keep this act up? I loved Rango. It definitely wears its influences. It's one part spaghetti western, and another part is like Chinatown, with a little dash of the Coen brothers. The mayor is just like Noah Cross from Chinatown, someone obsessed with legacy and knows that water is the way of controlling people.
The future, Mr. Gitz. The future.
The future, Mr. Rango. The future.
I love the art style of realistic backgrounds with these ugly-looking creatures. The town of Dirt has all these amazing characters, littered with personality and charm. Rango doesn't get bogged down with the lie revealed trope. That trope is probably my least favorite in film, and it's not played out for very long. The film is more concerned with Rango trying to find himself than Rango lying to the townsfolk. Of course, we can't forget about Rattlesnake Jake, who is one of the coolest gunfighters in film. His design is so scary, even if you're not afraid of snakes, he'll make you. Rango is a great film that both kids and adults could enjoy. The same day I watched Two for the Money, directed by DJ Caruso. Matthew McConaughey plays Brandon Lane, a former college quarterback that had dreams of going to the NFL, but injured his leg and can't play. So he gives out gambling advice and catches the eye of Walter Abrams, played by Al Pacino. He runs a gambling network that gives people advice on what games to bet. Brandon changes his name to John Anthony to make him more personable. At first, everything is going great, until he can't pick a single winner. What will Brandon do to get out of this rut? I thought Two for the Money was fine. It's basically about a guy that works for Barstool, which I don't find very interesting. Funny enough, the guy that inspired Al Pacino's character works for Barstool. Two for the Money has many pointless subplots. There's one with Renee Russo, who plays Al Pacino's wife, and her and Matthew McConaughey start to have some chemistry. Another one is with Armand Assante, who plays this high roller. Brandon gives him some bad advice, and he beats him up, and then that's the last we see of him. Another one is how Al Pacino is too old to have a kid, and mind you, this came out in 2005. One part I enjoyed was any scene with Jeremy Piven in it. He's basically playing Ari Gold, and it's fun seeing him do his thing. I wouldn't recommend Two for the Money unless you love watching movies about gambling. On November 30th, I watched Knives Out, directed by Rian Johnson. I wanted to watch this before I saw the third Knives Out film, Dead Man Walking. Harlan Thrombey, played by Christopher Plummer, is a renowned mystery writer that is found dead in his home the morning after his 85th birthday. Everyone in his family is a suspect. The detective, Benoit Blanc, played by Daniel Craig, is on the case. I think Knives Out is one of the best whodunits to come out right now. All of Benoit's interactions with Marta, played by Ana de Armas, are excellent. Marta knows much more than she's telling Benoit, but with her Pinocchio-like condition of not being able to lie without throwing up, it's really fun as we see her try to escape the truth. The cast are what helped make these films. Everyone is great. Some standouts to me are Michael Shannon and Chris Evans. Knives Out is great. It's one of the best modern whodunits. On the same day, I watched Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, directed by John Hughes. Steve Martin plays Neil Page, who is coming home from New York to Chicago on Thanksgiving, but he can't catch a break. And by his side is Del Griffith, played by John Tandy. What can go wrong does. No matter what form of transportation the two of them take, there is always some sort of issue. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is a very enjoyable film. John Candy is one of the most lovable human beings to grace this earth, and every second of him as the lovable oaf, Del Griffith, is a delight. Him and Steve Martin's chemistry makes this film. Martin's exasperated nature plays perfectly with Candy's goofy charm. One of my favorite scenes is when Neil is cussing out the rental car lady.
You can start by wiping that fucking dumbass smile off your rosy fucking cheeks. Then you can give me a fucking automobile, a fucking Datsun, a fucking Toyota, a fucking Mustang, a fucking Buick, 4 fucking wheels and a seat.
I really don't care for the way you're speaking to me.
And I really don't care for the way your company left me in the middle of fucking nowhere with fucking keys to a fucking car that isn't fucking there. And I really didn't care to fucking walk down a fucking highway and across a fucking runway to get back here to have you smile in my fucking face. I want a fucking car right fucking now.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is one of the best buddy comedies and the best movie to watch during Thanksgiving. On December 1st, I watched Eternity, directed by David Frean. Larry, played by Miles Teller, and Joan, played by Elizabeth Olsen, have been married for over 60 years. Both died recently and must decide where to spend the rest of eternity. Waiting for Joan is her first husband, Luke, played by Callum Turner, who died during the Korean War. The afterlife offers a bunch of different eternities that people get a week to decide where to spend it. Joan gets a chance to spend a day with each of Larry and Luke at their chosen eternity, but afterwards she must choose who she will spend an eternity with. I thought Eternity was a fun rom-com. It is a fun spin on the afterlife and the idea of spending an eternity in one place, and how would that make you feel? I like how the film mulls over Joan's decision, as spending your entire life with someone in one setting can be very daunting. I thought Miles Teller and Elizabeth Olsen were great. Callum Turner was a little notch below them, but that has more to do with the character than his performance. Luke is basically Mr. Perfect, and that makes him a less interesting character. Overall, Eternity is a fun rom-com that you should check out in the theaters. The same day I watched There'll Be Blood, directed by Paul Thomas Anderson. The film is about Daniel Plainville, played by Daniel Day-Lewis. We see him rise up as he becomes an oil baron. He travels with his son H.W. to California to the town of Little Boston in search of oil. They run into Eli, played by Paul Dano, who is a preacher that constantly butt heads with Daniel. A battle between faith and capitalism breaks out, and only one can be the third revelation. There'll Be Blood is one of the best films of the century. Daniel Day-Lewis is considered by many to be the greatest living actor, and this performance is thought to be his best, and one of the best performances ever put on screen. It's hard to argue. Daniel exemplifies America. Self-determining, ambitious, and has the will to do anything, as well as greedy, drunk, and hateful. The performance netted Day-Lewis the second Oscar. There'll Be Blood is an American masterpiece. Go watch it if you haven't already. On December 2nd, I watched Zootopia, directed by Brian Howard and Rich Moore. I wanted to watch it before I saw Zootopia 2. Judy Hobbs is played by Jennifer Goodwin. She's a small-town bunny with big dreams on her way to Zootopia to be the first bunny police officer. After getting accepted, she realizes Zootopia isn't the utopia it's cracked up to be, and she's stuck as a meter maid. One day, she gets scammed by a sly fox named Nick Wilde, played by Jason Bateman. She finds out that he was a witness to a missing otter and wrangles him to help crack the case. I enjoyed Zootopia. Most of the animal-based comedy works. I'm a sucker for buddy cop movies, and Judy and Nick play off each other very well. I'm also a big crime movie fan, so the scenes with Mr. Big are probably my favorite. The theme of the film being an allegory for racism is well-intentioned, but a little half-baked. But it's for kids, so of course it's going to be dumbed down a bit for them. Zootopia is a solid Pixar film. Go watch it before you go see Zootopia 2. These are the films I watched from November 26th to December 2nd. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week.